My name is Jafan. I'm a hostage at Sulu Island. I'm appealing to Canadian government, Filipino government, friends, family, anybody who can possibly help us. If the demand is not met, we will be executed like our friend John was a few days ago.
My name is Robert Hall. I'm here as well. To the Philippine government, please stop shooting at us and trying to kill us. These guys are going to do a good job of that. To the Canadian government, I'm told to tell you to meet the demand. I don't know what you're doing, but you're not doing anything for us. John is being sacrificed. His family has been decimated, and I'm not sure why and what you're waiting for.
I am appealing to all the people, all people hearing this kind of people, just like this situation right now. I am appealing to the Canadian government, to the Philippine government, to the President Noynoy Aquino, to Mr. Binay, sa lahat ng mga tumatakbo bilang presidente, to the owner of the marina kung saan kami nakuha, Mayor Duterte, Manny Pacquiao, sa lahat ng mga celebrities na may mga malalambot na puso, Chris Aquino, Miss Chris Aquino, Mr. Ruben Padilla, kailangan po namin yung financial niyo na tulong kasi gusto po namin makalaya ng buhay.
Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man. Amma ba'd. Notice to the Philippine government and to the Canadian government. The lesson is clear. John Ridgestone has been beheaded. Now there are 3 remaining captives here. If you procrastinate once again the negotiation, we will behead this all anytime. Takbir!
Allahu
Takbir!
Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar!
It doesn't really get more wild than this for Manny Pacquiao, but a recent report from The Telegraph and CNN has stated that Manny Pacquiao was a kidnapped target of Islamic terror gang that was also responsible for beheading a Canadian hostage, says the Philippines president. Now, the president of the Philippines and Manny Pacquiao actually go way back. We actually have a series of pictures in which he's been a big supporter of Pacquiao in his boxing career, and also not that many forget, but if you're not even a boxing fan, but you're politically involved, Manny Pacquiao has held political positions in the Philippines and is even considering running for president of the Philippines. But so, in general, some more context for you. Benigno Aquino revealed the kidnap plot by the Abu Sayyaf group as he vowed to hunt down the Muslim extremist who murdered John Ridgestone, who was the Canadian hostage who was unfortunately beheaded on the jungle-carpeted southern island of Sulu. The whole point of this, and it wasn't just the Canadian hostages that they took, but Pacquiao was basically a way to really show the Islamic State ISIS that they were devoted, that they were going to go through with whatever they possibly could to make them proud. It's, I mean, lack of better words, it's batshit insane.
Yeah, it's nuts, especially for someone as prestigious as Manny Pacquiao. And it's stated here in one of the articles that Abu Sayyaf, as you said, the militants, they're seeking independence for a province in southern Philippines. So they also wanted to explode bombs in metropolitan Manila to try to get funding from the Islamic State, but the plans were uncovered, as Aquino stated. So they've got their objective, and one way to try and meet that objective in their terms is to kidnap the most famous of anyone in the Philippines, Manny Pacquiao. And in doing so, I think it was a means to say, look at the measures we're going to go to get more funding to put across, I would say, their immediate goals.
Insane.
So, I mean, obviously, with Manny Pacquiao at the moment, he's obviously a prestigious name in the Philippines, but he's a two-term congressman in the Philippines, running for the 12 Senate seats in the Philippines in the national elections on May 9th. So, if you didn't already think that someone of Manny Pacquiao was going to be of even more importance to the Philippines, he's just about to be. And when you look at a terrorist organization group, what is their main objective? It is to drive fear into everyday citizens. How do you drive fear into everyday citizens? You hit people in areas where they should feel safe, and you make them feel unsafe, and you showcase that anyone out there in the world can be a target. So they're trying to showcase that even if you are of that celebrity category, as Manny Pacquiao is, he's worshipped in his homeland, he's not safe. And according to the president of the Philippines, he stated that they even allegedly hatched plots to kidnap Manny Pacquiao or one of his children, as well as the president's sister, Chris, and one of her children. So it really is a scary affair. I mean, you just hope that the right measures are now taken, and it obviously is encouraging these reports were found before any action was taken. But that is their role. And I mean, that overall, to nullify any plan of what these organization groups are potentially trying to do is to just go about everyday business and try not to be swayed one way or another. But it's easy for me to sit here in this room and say something like that, but unless you're in a situation, you really can't understand it. I'm sure Manny Pacquiao has an abundance of security officials ready in arms in case anything like this is approached to him, and I'm sure he's got a haymaker ready for a couple of them.
Yeah, a couple of those body shots would go a long way. All right, comment below with what you think about the Manny Pacquiao alleged kidnapping plot from the Islamic terror gang. Scary stuff going on in the world.
In a split second nearly a decade ago, a Filipino television crew made a potentially deadly decision: to secretly keep a camera rolling to record a kidnapping in progress, their own.
There were many times that I thought, this is really bad.
Marched through the jungles of the southern Philippines by Abu Sayyaf, the crew had been tricked into thinking they were about to get an interview with the head of the bloodthirsty group. Instead, they became the group's prey. Reporter Sestrilon sensed there was no way out.
I asked to be given that grace, to be able to die, to be able to accept my death, not to fight it.
What she knew was these jungle floors crawl with threats, none more haunting than the extremists for whom kidnapping is a proven moneymaker. Her boss knew it too. In Manila, Maria Ressa's instincts told her to pay the ransom or her crew would die.
A year before CES, there was a company that refused to pay ransom, and all 7 of the hostages were beheaded.
All sensed then that a rescue would be a lost dream. It rarely happens. Not that soldiers don't want to, it's just not that easy. Anytime the Philippine military goes after Abu Sayyaf, there are hideous casualties. There is serious pressure to stop Abu Sayyaf, but practicalities are punishing.
Why can't you get too low here?
Our aircrafts are vulnerable to small arms fire.
With their Vietnam-era helicopters, the armed forces of the Philippines have much ground to cover in these volatile southern islands. Tropical, lush. Look, they say, at the most beautiful beaches you should never try to visit. As Canadians now know too well, tourists and foreigners are the perfect targets for Abu Sayyaf. Those marshlands below are the group's favorite hiding grounds. They know the terrain and they have the small vessels to navigate this. The military does not.
It's not possible for us, but they know all the area.
The Abu Sayyaf fighters in the islands below have been bombing and beheading for more than 20 years. And when they succeed in getting ransoms, they sometimes share with local populations. That buys silence, which makes hunting them so much harder.
Dahil sa pagkilalang ito ng ISIS sa Pilipinas,
but Abu Sayyaf's loyalties come and go. Al-Qaeda has fallen out of favor. It's now showing signs of aligning with ISIS. Will align with any group that suggests it can provide money and training and prestige. Sestrilon now covers Abu Sayyaf from a safe distance and realizes something she first sensed during her captivity still holds true, that her kidnappers really had no cause, nothing she could talk with them about. They were cruel, greedy young men with guns and nothing more.
And nothing ideological was said here. I said, you know, don't kidnap, don't ask for money. Tell me about your story. Tell me, I'll tell the people. I'll just air your story. They weren't interested in that. So I don't think there's any ideology or that binds them.
Abu Sayyaf's ranks aren't thought to be big, but their reach is. They recently kidnapped Malaysian and Indonesian soldiers, and those who appear to come for money are always at risk. At times, when the military has cracked down, the group has resorted to kidnapping locals, teachers, even fruit sellers. So average citizens are often afraid. They certainly are at the Basilan home of Dr. Nilo Berendino we visited a few years ago. Abu Sayyaf had once kidnapped him, his wife, and 8 children. Every cent the family had went to pay the ransom. He was convinced his kidnappers would never face justice.
Because in Basilan, the kidnappers mostly are related to policemen and are related to the government official. This was my kidnapping days.
Berendino says he made a decision in the jungle. In order to protect his community, he'd have to find the Abu Sayyaf kidnappers and kill them himself.
Did you really mean that?
I did.
How many men kidnapped you and your family?
Actually, in my list were 24.
24 men.
Yes.
So did you decide that you wanted to get and maybe kill all of those 24 men?
Only 6 are living now.
Only 6 are still alive?
Yes.
And did you kill all the others?
Not all. This barangay captain.
This might be hard to believe if it weren't for his grim photo album of the dead Abu Sayyaf members.
But why aren't you in jail?
Yes. You know, they cannot put you to jail for no evidence.
And to make his point, he pulls out a silencer.
You made that.
Yes. This is out of the mortar base.
This is what the terror of Abu Sayyaf has done to his life. He lives in a home built as a bomb shelter. He lost his legs in a grenade attack Abu Sayyaf launched against him. They want him dead as much as he and other vigilantes want them dead. Right now, there's a fear in the Philippines again. The death of the Canadian hostage, the threats against the others, means a genuine worry of more violence to come in jungles already teeming with trouble.